Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to JA Memories Tech Talk. My name is John McLauchlan, and we are on the air. Like I said, I'm John McLauchlan. This is JA Memories Tech Talk, Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Believe it or not, things have been kind of crazy around here. I didn't realize that we literally had no time. I was taking care of some stuff and found out that it's time to go live. So let's see if everybody's up online. Is chat working? Let me know. And for those that are wondering, yes, I did hit go live. I hit record. So I got a text from Jeff just a few minutes ago, and I did hit live. So with that being said, let's get into it. So we have a fun show today. If you happen to catch the Facebook announcement and the YouTube video short, then let's see. Jeff is saying, let's see. Hi, y'all. Oh, I gotta turn the time off. We don't need to see the time anymore. That's just there for me to know when it's there. Hi, all from Jeff. So, chat is working. I will give you guys a heads up. We are running a few things a little bit differently today, simply because of none other than a Windows update, believe it or not. The ticker is going to be a little glitchy today because the computer that is running the ticker is in the process of doing an update, which also means that the chat may be a little wonky as well. So we'll go from there and just move on and not worry about it. If it works, great. If not, so far so good. Let me turn on the channel on YouTube and see, am I actually live? Yeah, how things are. Live. Great, if not. Oh, I can hear myself, which is a good thing. All right, let's go. Let's do this. All right, so I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. We are live. If this is your first time, don't forget, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, turn on notifications, and you'll be notified when we go live. And I'm starting to work on some new videos, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Part of the videos will be that as well. So, as always, feel free to leave a comment in the chat, and we will go from there. Just to give you guys a heads up, let me know in the chat if the music is too loud. Obviously, I can't hear. I don't have any ears on. So, if the music is too loud, I can always bring that down. I want to give a big shout out to Senpai Gaming and Stream Beats for providing all the music that we use on the shows, simply because they create all the music and allow streamers across the board to use their music. So thank you to them. A big shout out to Senpai Gaming. Check them out. They've got tons of content out there, so check them out on YouTube as well. Also, last but not least, I just did an update to our graphics, like I said, but Jeff is leaving snarky comments in the chat, so I'll leave that alone for the moment. But I did an update to the graphics computer as well as the graphics software, so hopefully that will come in handy. As I did last week, I am running my chat off of my tablet, so I can see the chat as it comes in, and then also take it very easily. Just like Jeff said, I see you have 2 ears. Oh, it went there, then it went away. Like I said, it's slow. After that, I see 2 ears of yours. They're still attached. I did say I have no ears on, but I meant no ears, no in-ears, no headphones. You know what I mean, Jeff. Stop giving me a hard time. Anyway, moving on. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, as I mentioned in the preview video, the video I posted to Facebook, posted to YouTube Shorts, many of us have a cell phone. You know, a little cell phone like this. I'm using it right now to preview the YouTube video. Actually, this I believe is Facebook, but we all have a cell phone. We use it every day. Most of us, some of you may be watching the replay or even live. By the way, if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit that hashtag replay in the comments so I know you're watching the replays of the videos. So we use a cell phone on a daily basis. Yeah, a cell phone in itself is designed to make phone calls to and from, make things, give us a little bit more connection. But over the years, we have drastically changed the way that we compute our daily lives. A cell phone nowadays is just that. It's a computer in our hands. It has revolutionized our entire existence to a point where we are now living with a computer that can do so much more than some of the computers that were out 10, 15 years ago. And nowadays you can get a cell phone with more RAM, more hard drive space than some of the computers that are even on the market today. And that changes the whole spectrum of what is available for everyday use. Now we're talking about using a cell phone in our daily live productions, our video productions, and things like that. Cell phones all come with at least one camera, and that is the front-facing camera. And typically that camera is a lower res camera than, say, the ones on the back. If it does have a rear-facing camera, they will be a little bit lower res. Now, why would you even consider using your camera as a live production studio or an accessory to your existing camera setup? And that is a very great question, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. There is so many different ways that you can use your cell phone, whether it be a solo accessory to your live stream or combined in with your studio setup. You see Twitter, Twitch, not Twitch as much, but Twitter, Instagram, and even Facebook started the revolution of going live from the cell phone. And that was the whole purpose of going live, was that you could go live wherever you are and stream to their platforms. And even platforms today even require a cell phone in order to go live. Instagram is a perfect example. Now, over the last year, they have been rolling out RMPT streams for certain content creators and certain users, but it's not rolled out for everybody yet. But Instagram is one that requires you to just straight up go live from your phone. And their whole premise was that you could go live and show your real life at the drop of a hat. Regardless of where you were, if you're on your phone, chances are you have some kind of data plan. If you don't have a big enough data plan, you can connect that phone to a Wi-Fi hotspot. And I've had both Android and Apple devices, and most phones have the capabilities of automatically connecting to certain Wi-Fi connections. So if you go to a public Wi-Fi location that has an open Wi-Fi zone, your phone would automatically connect to that Wi-Fi, and you would be on their Wi-Fi data and wouldn't have to use the cell phone data. For those of you who like to roam the wild, go out into the middle of nowhere, your cell phone data, if there is a cell network available, would then provide you with the necessary data to go live. Now, you're not going to go live at the same resolution, same speed as, say, if you had a dedicated network that you were live streaming from. But you still could go live. And that's where the whole IRL streams came from. IRL stands for in real life streams. And there are tons of IRL streams out there on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, even on YouTube. And there are many content creators out there who make a living off of IRL streams. They're showing their entire life. They show everything from the life of their kids. And that's what promotes the content creation. I mean, we live in a society that's vying for attention. Everybody from Facebook to YouTube to Instagram and all the other live stream platforms out there, everybody's vying for attention. They're all trying to get the next revolution going, and they're all trying to get the next viral video created so that you, me, and everybody else will click on their video and make them a viral sensation. And for a lot of people who are not doing this yet, they're sitting there going, I would love to be able to do this stuff. I've got talent. I've got these great ideas. I'm good with my hands. I'm good with woodworking. I'm good with crafts. I'm good with whatever. I want to go out there and do stuff. Well, you may not have the money to put together a studio like I have. You may not be able to afford a camera that is dedicated to just video cameras. But you have a cell phone in your pocket that you use on a daily basis. You may use that phone to check Facebook. You may watch YouTube videos on there. Well, now, with just a little bit of work and a little bit of patience, you can go live from your cell phone. Now, I will tell you that YouTube is one of those that don't allow everybody to go live from their cell phone. You have to be a content creator with X number of subscribers and so many view hours in order to be able to do certain things. You have to tier up to that point where you then can go live from your cell phone. YouTube is one that wants you to use the RMPT streams that they set up, the dedicated streams, and the only thing that you change is the stream key that you publish to. And that's how YouTube gets all of their streams, is by doing those type of streams. Facebook, you can go live both from the computer using an RMPT stream, you go live from a cell phone via the app. It doesn't matter to them. Now, they do treat the different types of live differently. Using their algorithms, they push certain live videos more towards viewers from the cell phone than they do from the computer. And that's an algorithm thing. So you have a plus there that if you use your cell phone and use the Facebook app, you're more likely to get viewers. Something to think about. Well, how do you do that? What are the tricks and tips to doing live? Well, Jeff left a comment. Many public Wi-Fi connections points don't have good quality upload speeds, but it can happen. That is true. No matter where you go when you are in public, most will have higher download speeds than they will upload speeds. And we'll get into that in just a minute, talking about bandwidth and all of that in just a minute. So I'll come back to that comment in just a few minutes. Well, obviously the first thing you want to do is have a cell phone. If you have a cell phone that's newer than 10 years old, chances are you have a halfway decent camera on your phone. Even some of the older flip phones and smartphones have a camera because they were designed to be able to take short videos or take still pictures. And you may be sitting there going, I take camera shots all the time. I take pictures all the time with my phone. I would rather take a picture or a video with my phone than have to lug a DSLR or a point and shoot camera. Especially would love to carry around my phone rather than carrying a big 25-pound E&G camera. Especially since the cheapest one we can find is a $3,000 Blackmagic camera. And that's what it comes down to. You have this small little device that you already carry around that you can take pictures with, you can take videos with. And maybe you're not there where you want to go live, but you would like to get your content out there. All of the platforms have a way of uploading pictures and videos. And 99% of you who are watching out there have already been doing that for years and decades and centuries. Maybe not centuries, but decades. I mean, this is not something new. But a lot of people don't even consider looking at this device here and going, this is all I need. I can go outside with decent lighting outside, take a decent video, post it, and now I have content up online. Okay, great. That's what you need to do. So, a couple of things to keep in mind. I've already mentioned about the lower resolution on the front-facing camera. But there's another caveat to using the front-facing camera on your cell phone. And you sit there and go, well, if there's caveats to using it and it's better to use the rear view, why would I do that? We will get to that when we talk about the rear view cameras. But one of the biggest caveats that I find that really annoys me when I use my front-facing camera, and you may be able to sit there and think about it and come up with an answer to what the biggest caveat to using the front-facing camera is. And we talked about this last week. And that is the fact that the front-facing camera flips the image. So when you take a video and you have words across your chest on your shirt, you have a picture, or you may have facial distinctions on your face, or your background has books on it. All of those images will be flipped. It'd be like looking into a mirror. And that's where, if you don't invert the image, flip it back over before you post it, it looks really bad. You don't know how many times I'll sit there and watch YouTube shorts, and I'll watch somebody who's got tons and tons of followers. They've got thousands of subscribers on YouTube, or thousands of followers on Facebook. But they don't take the time to invert their images. They're using their cell phone, which is great, because it's readily available. It doesn't cost them anything extra. But they're not taking the time to invert their videos. Now, I'm a little bit more picky because I work in the broadcast world. I like consistency. I like the fact that when I look at an image, it's right. When I watch a video, things aren't backwards. And it really is distracting when I'm watching somebody who has a baseball cap on and you can't even tell what team it is because the words are backwards. Now, if I wanted to, yes, I could read backwards. But I'm not there to concentrate on the shirt or the baseball cap or the books on the background and figure out what the words are saying. Now, there are apps out there that will invert the image, so it's before you push it out, it is correct. There are ways to do that if you bring the video into your NLE, non-linear editor, and then you can invert the image there. But it takes effort. It's not just pop up the video, go live, and you're done. Another caveat to using the front-facing camera, and this is one of the reasons that people like to use the front-facing camera, but it could be very distracting, is the fact that when you use the front-facing image, the front-facing camera, oftentimes you're looking at the actual video of you doing whatever you're doing. You're not actually looking at the camera. The camera normally is up top. And with it being up top, you need to keep your eyes up top. And you need to look at the camera. It's like my lens is right here, but I'm looking down here at the image of what I'm doing, and I'm doing the entire video looking like this, and not once do I move my eyes up here to where the image is, or where the camera is. It looks unprofessional. And we're trying our best to do a professional video. We want people to acknowledge that, yes, we are talking to them. We're not talking off to the side. We are addressing our audience. In TV and even in theater, we're told and taught that you never turn your back to the camera. But at the same point, if you're looking at the camera, but yet you're never actually looking at the camera. And I'm giving my entire conversation to the monitor over here because I've got an image of myself right over here, and I'm watching this right here, and I'm doing my best. I'm talking to this image right here. But yet not once am I looking at the camera. Not once am I addressing the audience. And by using the front-facing camera on your cell phone, you're more apt to look down at the image. Your eyes are automatically going to be drawn to the action of what you're doing. And that's another caveat to using the front-facing camera. That's just the nature of the beast. So why would you not just go, fine, we use the rear-facing camera. The rear-facing cameras on most phones are going to be a higher resolution. You're going to get a better image. Depending on the phone, you're going to have 1 to 3 cameras built onto the phone. And most apps are going to let you pick which camera you want to use. Manufacturers, Samsung, Apple, and Motorola, and all the other phone companies out there are designing these cameras with such precision and such clarity that they want to compete with the big manufacturers. They want you to buy their cell phone just so that you can take stellar videos. They will spend most of their upgrade on the camera optics, the sensors in the cameras, so that you are more likely to buy them than, say, buy a cheaper phone and then pick up a standalone camera. That is their marketing ploy. So with the rear-facing cameras being such powerful cameras, I have seen, even in the studio, where people will pick up their cell phone and use it for both still photography and video content. And we're not just talking about live here. We're talking about, we're going to videotape this, and then we're going to put it into an NLE and then produce the content and make a full feature video out of just what we taped on that camera. People are doing it today. There are production companies out there that will provide cell phones to their camera crew to take B-roll, B-shots, secondary shots. They're still using the big professional cameras on the primary shots, but the B shots and even the C shots, they're getting on their cell phones. Sometimes at the same exact time, other times down the road, because it's convenient, it's fast, everybody's got it. And that's just what it is. So, what are some of the ways that you can use a cell phone for live? I'm going to take just a brief minute to take questions. Is there any questions in the chat? If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment in the chat. If you're watching on Facebook, same thing, just leave a comment in the chat. I can see all the chat in one location, so I know where you're chatting from. And but if you have any questions, feed them to me. I will tell you that we are getting ready to actually put cell phone cameras in this studio. That's what brought this whole conversation up, is the fact that we are getting ready to produce content using cell phones. Now, I said we have to go back 10 years. Depending on what your application is, that may or may not work. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But I asked the question before we took the short break, what do you need to be able to do this? You obviously can take your cell phone and just, you know, if you're using the front-facing camera, hold it up like this and talk to the camera. Make sure you talk to the actual camera, not to the video on the display. Because believe it or not, there is a difference between looking at the camera and your face in that general direction, but your eyes are shifted down. People do notice that. Not all, but people do notice that. And that will determine the difference between a professional camera operator and a professional talent than somebody who's just mediocre or amateur. That's one reason why teleprompters are so prevalent now, because people are trying to create that environment that they want their content at their eye level, but yet they want to continue to look at the camera. So they're looking for ways to bring Zoom contents right in front of their camera, or words so that they can read a script. I've got my rundown right in front of my face, in front of my camera, so that I know where to go throughout this show. I'm not reading a script. It's just not, I'm not big on reading a script. But at the same time, I do have notes. I do know the things that I want to make sure I hit and make sure that I content them. So what do we need? Obviously, a phone is the first and foremost thing. Even if you have an older phone that's not hooked up to cell data, but you know that whenever you go live, you'll have some way of connecting to a Wi-Fi, which goes back to Jeff's comment just a minute ago that said, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the computer is glitchy. Many public Wi-Fi connection points don't have good quality upload speeds, but it can happen. And obviously, this goes across the board whenever you're going live, okay? The first thing that you have to consider is your upload speed. A lot of people say they have enough bandwidth because they'll have, say, 50 up, 5 down. Sorry, they'll have 50 down, 5 up. That's not true. You don't have enough. You don't have enough bandwidth. I'm pushing right now, per example, on the YouTube feed, I'm pushing 10 megs up. On my Facebook, I'm pushing, let me see, I can go over to the other screen here. I'm pushing 4, 5, average about 5 megs a second. So I'm pushing from my Facebook 15 megs out right now to the social media. That's upload. That's not download. That's upload. Plus, I'm actually watching my live streams. I know my wife is on her phone. I know my daughter is watching her YouTube. My son's probably playing some video game that's connected to the internet. I've got my internet up and running on my computer so I can read chat. I've got my chat computer running so that I can connect to it. All that stuff combined creates your bandwidth limitations. So if I just paid for 15 megs, I wouldn't be able to do the live streams the way I am because I'd be flooding my network. You always want to have extra bandwidth in order to upload a live stream. I recommend nothing less than 30 megs up if you're going to go live. That's if you're in a studio configuration. And that depends on the number of live streams. We here at JA Memories are pushing out 2 live streams simultaneously. Also, on any given night that I'm live, my wife may have a party on Facebook for her book company, Paper Pie. I have to leave room in my bandwidth for her to be able to do the things that she needs to do. Because if I flood our network, take up all the bandwidth, I can guarantee you my daughter will scream because she can't watch her stuff. My son will complain because he can't play his video games and talk to his friends. And my wife will be extremely upset if she can't do her book parties. And from a standpoint of that, it's actually a viable thing because for her, that's how she makes her money. So you see a public Wi-Fi place, say McDonald's, Starbucks, any public library. They're not focused on the upload. They may have a decent 100 meg down to be able to allow people to connect and do their streaming of their email, web browsing, things like that. That's the download speed. But upload? No, they're not going to pay that much for the upload. Unless they're dedicated, they know that they're going to be doing live streams from that location. And then maybe you might be able to get lucky enough to get on that Wi-Fi and bounce their connection off of that. You're more likely to be able to jump on somebody's home network and live stream from there. And even then, cell phone companies, they don't like people always using their bandwidth to go live. It can happen, you can do it. Cell phones do limit after a while. Some of them actually do throttle your bandwidth down when you hit a certain threshold. So if you're going live every day on your cell data, you may find that halfway through the month you're having problems because you're getting throttled on the bandwidth. So make sure you check that. Also, if you start uploading live videos and you do long form content like we do here, you may find that you only have a certain amount of data in your plan. And then at the end of the month, you look at your bill and all of a sudden you're getting charged $400 for bandwidth because you went over your limit of uploads. That's happening less and less now with unlimited data, but there are still plans out there that do limit your bandwidth. So make sure you know what you have and what you're paying for, because it is very important. So I asked the question, what do you need? Jeff says, let's see if I can get this to pop up. Okay, stabilization unit for the camera is a big help, but stabilization has gotten better, but still not fully up to par. Yes, If you're going to do especially if you're going to do a high action video, a stabilization, they make plenty of stabilization units out there. The cameras do have some stabilization in them, but there is no comparison to having a onboard stabilization compared to a Steadicam setup, a gimbal that will absorb some of the bouncing when you're moving your camera around. Especially if you're running or you're moving or walking, riding a bike or whatever. You know, that's the kind of thing that, yes, you will need something. We here at JA Memories have a couple of things. We have this little unit right here. I actually got this quite a while ago. It's quite old. Actually, it will work with my camera to a point where I can put my camera on it, but it comes with this little cable right here. On the old cell phones, you actually had an audio jack that you would plug your headphones and your microphones into. And this selfie stick used that jack for this little button right here. And you could take the picture with this jack, and you stick your phone on there, you put it out there, and then you take the picture with your hand. So obviously that won't work on any of my phones now because I don't have a phone that actually has a 1/8" jack on there for headphones or microphone. Everything has gone Bluetooth. So if you pick up a selfie stick and you want that flexibility of using a button to take pictures or start your recordings, make sure you get one that has Bluetooth on it. Other people have actually mounted their cell phones to drones and done videos with drones, whether it's nature shots or they're doing a whole video of themselves with the drone in there. And those are awesome. Those are extremely great options to do that. And that's using the phone completely isolated as its own device. That's the live stream, that's the video capture, that's the still photography, all from the camera itself. But there are other ways, and the way that we're going to use it here in the studio is we're actually going to connect our phone to our setup. And what do I mean by that is we are going to take the camera and using an adapter, which I have right here. This is a USB-C to HDMI adapter. It's a 4K UHD adapter and it plugs into a USB-C connector. Now, the last few Android devices have all been USB-C, and the latest iPhone 15 is USB-C. Now, I have not tried this with the Apple 15. I don't have the 15. I have the 14. And the 14 still is the Lightning port. But I have tried this with my Android. This little baby right here. This is, I'm not sure what model this is. The S21 or 22. I think this might actually be the 24. But it is USB-C. And you can take, this device, this little adapter has been the way that a lot of people have been able to capture their videos and their screen captures for decades. I actually have an old one that I have. It's a USB B, a micro USB cable to HDMI. I've had this for a while, and it's what I used on my old cell phones to get the image out. Now, I actually purchased an app to create a clean out of my cell phone, so that when I brought it into my productions, I didn't have all the menus, I didn't have all of the graphic things, and it was just a straight image of whatever I was looking for. That app also allowed me to flip the front image so it was correct, so the words in the background, the words on my shirt were all in the right place and everything like that. And that program was called Filmic Pro. But like most of the things nowadays, everything's subscription based, so you have to pay a subscription in order to use their apps now. A lot of things in the production world have gone the path of subscription. It's getting far and few between to find reliable products to use in productions that doesn't require a monthly or yearly subscription. It's getting very frustrating because people like me, content creators, they tend to not have a lot of money, and it's not steady income. So, having to always pay for something, you really have to make a decision: is it worth having? Because at the end of the day, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. So I'm very disappointed with the broadcast world, because they're getting into this mantra of let's nickel and dime everybody, and no one's sharing the talent that they have anymore. So that's just sorry, didn't mean to go off a rabbit trail there. So, all right, let's see what Jeff says. Let's see if it'll come up. Live streams require a lot more upload than uploading a recorded video. Yes and no. So, obviously, you can upload a live stream at a lower bit rate. 720K kilobytes. You can upload that. You can even upload a live stream at 1 meg. But you're not going to get the good enough. No, I wouldn't say good enough. You're not going to get a very good, clean image at that low bit rate. But one of the things that you are more likely to get is pixelization, drop frames, and things like that. Also, on a recorded video, you can upload a video that's the same size as it would have been if you had recorded it live, but you can upload it at a lower bit rate. It just take a lot longer, and that video would upload a lot longer time than, say, the 1 hour that you recorded the video in. So you have the flexibility of, if you're at a low bandwidth, recording it, then upload the video later. And platforms like YouTube actually allow you to upload a video, set it as a premiere, and it acts just like if it's live. You can be in the chat, commenting and chit-chatting with the video. Now, obviously, you're not going to respond to the comments like I am at the moment, but you can respond via chat to the comments that are being leveraged at the moment of the conversation. And on a Premiere, it plays out straight from the top to the bottom, and when it's done, then it becomes a VOD product. So yeah, that is the benefit of if you're in a lower bandwidth location. That is obviously an option. And you, if you have the talent and have the skills and want to just point, shoot, and then upload, then by all means do that, because that is the benefit of having those flexibility options out there. Let's wait for the comment. A recording can take forever to upload at slow speeds, but live streams don't work well without at least 10 megs up. Again, you're talking about headroom. So the lowest bandwidth that I would recommend you streaming at is 1 meg up. And you're right, you need headroom on top of that 1 meg, so a 10 meg up would give you a good enough signal for HD video. Now, if you're doing 480, 1 meg might be overkill at that point. Again, it comes down to what kind of video you are pushing. Some cameras allow you to change the resolution of what you're uploading. Other phones don't. It's automatically HD. Every time you push record, it's going to push out HD content. And at that point, yes, you need a lot of bandwidth in order to push that video up. So I agree, 10 megs is the minimum, but I recommend 30 because I like a lot of headroom. I like a lot of flexibility. I like to be able to use the extra room for other things, chat conversations and things like that. So I might be a little biased. I don't know. I've been doing these live streams for 3 years now, since 2021. So, you know, I enjoy. I actually had a conversation with my siblings, and this question comes up quite often in our conversations. I get asked, why do I prefer the live over, say, the just recording a video and then posting it later? For me, I like the live better because when the live is done, we're done. Yeah, I'm gonna capture the recordings if I remember to hit the record button, which I did today. Thank you, Jeff, for sending me a message. But I will back up the recording. But when it's all done, I'm not going to spend a lot of time tweaking it, fixing it, making sure that it sounds good. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Now, if I'm recording a video, I'm, one, not paying so much attention to make sure that everything is working perfectly. I'm just focused on, am I in the shot right? Do I have the content that I want to make sure that I record? And then everything else, all the graphics, all the fillers, all that stuff is going to be added to the video afterwards. I may actually record something and have 0 B-roll shots, have 0 graphics, have 0 overlays. And then after I'm done recording and I cut it into what it's going to be, as I'm editing it, I'm grabbing stills off the internet of what I'm talking about. Or I may go out with my phone, again, my cell phone, and take the B-roll that would relate to that point that I'm making. And yes, post-productions do tend to look a lot better, a lot more polished, a lot more professional, because of that very nature, the fact that you can go out there and get all the cover shots to one, cover any of your cuts that you have to make. If you've made a mistake, instead of having to get back in front of the camera and reshoot that portion, you can cover it. Now I know on social media platforms like YouTube and Facebook, the jump cut is used on tons and tons of videos. I was actually talking to a social media guru who's working with us on the ministry's social network, and they actually prefer on the social platforms the jump cut over a polished, finished image. Me, who's been working in broadcast for the last 20 plus years, that's not the case. And everyone's different. The tastes are completely different. And that's okay. That's what makes it great. That is what makes video you. When you get into social media, when you get into live videos or video productions, you're doing it with the idea that you're doing a video to your liking. Hopefully meeting someone else's need, and someone else out there will like it, pick it up, run with it, and then so on and so forth. And eventually something you say or do will create a viral sensation, and people will start to notice you. One thing that I love about live video is the fact that even when I'm live, I can react to people's comments on the spot. Now, it's taken me quite a while to be able to get all the pieces together. It has taken me quite a bit of time to get all the pieces together. And some of my early videos were rough, very rough. And even today, on certain videos, there are times that I'm sitting here going, something's not working right. Like today, I came home, turned everything on. I knew Microsoft had done an update because all my computers were turned off. And I checked the one computer and I turned everything on and noticed, you see that ticker down there right there? You see how it's jumping? That's not supposed to happen like that. So I went and checked a few things. I looked at the settings on the computer. And sure enough, there's a Microsoft update waiting to be published. So about 5:30 this evening, told it to go ahead and run the update. It's still running. And that's just the nature of the game. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm using it the way it is. The content's there. I'm able to push the videos there. I'm able to push the comments up on the screen. I am noticing a few glitches. That is because of the computer glitching out. But we're moving on. We're making do with what we have. And that's what makes live video that much more exciting. There's more excitement in me when I'm live than if I'm doing a video. I was actually recording a video for the Obsbot Tail Air. I did 8 takes. I went back and looked at it and going, I don't feel the excitement that I have when I'm live, because there is no pressure. There is no gumption right now to put forth the effort to make it sound like I'm live. And that's for me. That's just me. Other people may thrive doing the post work. They may thrive in creating content. And everybody's different. And that's what makes it so great. We're all here creating content, and like I said before, we're all vying, and myself including, for attention. We're all vying for that awesome moment when we post a video, we go live, and all of a sudden everything is going back and forth, going up and down, and then all of a sudden we see the views go up, and we see the fact that, hey, now we have 30 views, or 60 views, 100 views, 1,000 views. Our subscriber numbers start going up, our followers go up. Yes, at some point I would love to be able to make money from what I do here on YouTube, what I do with Facebook. But I leave that in God's hands. Because God's my provider. He is my source. I do what God's given me. I was listening to a sermon the other day talking about the gifts that God's given people and the anointing that people have on their life. And one of the things that the preacher was talking about was if someone does something so well and they succeed in what they're doing, then the Lord has provided them with an anointing to do what that is. I succeed when it comes to technology. I didn't go to school for this. I had some training back in high school. I worked in a TV studio through my college years, but I didn't have regular training. I didn't have the education that some of the other people do. And that might be why I don't have the big studios that other people have. But I've taken it upon myself to learn as much as I can. I put an effort forth when a client calls me and says, hey, I want to use this, or I want to do that. If I don't know the answers, one, I'll be honest with them and tell them, hey, I don't know everything that there is to do what you're wanting. But I go out there and I seek out the answers. I go look for the answers. And if it's something I can do, I'm going to jump on that and do it. Because that's what makes someone good. And obviously, I want to make sure that everybody gets the best out of me that is possible. J Memories is here to provide services to the local businesses, local churches, local everything out there. And we want to make sure that everybody that we work with succeeds with getting their message out there. You may be sitting there going, you know, I have a cell phone, I'm good at something. I'm noticing my video is glitching. I don't know if it's the camera or if it's the graphics. I'm actually going to turn off the graphics because I think the video is glitching. Yep, it's the graphics computer. So I'm going to turn off the graphics computer. Okay. Hopefully that will stop it from blinking off on you. I think we're stabilized. And that is one of the drawbacks to going live, is you do have that random glitch that pops up. But again, I told you the graphics computer is in the process of updating, so that might be what's causing the connection issue in the graphics. But normally I wouldn't actually use that during a live production, but because this is my own show and I tend to know exactly what to do if it does go wrong, I'm okay. I can move on. I can go forth. All right. So where was I? Talking about just using your talents. If you're sitting there with a cell phone, and it could be anything. I've seen people use their cell phones for stop motion graphics. For, you know, when I think of stop motion graphics and movies done in stop motion graphics, I think of Gumby, the old Gumby show. That was all done with stop motion graphics. Each frame was shot and then compiled together to make that show. You can do that with your cell phone. People do it with their cell phone. And that's what makes things so awesome, is the fact that you can do just that. So, all right, Jeff says, looks good. Oh, I just took it and I can't take it because the graphics are turned off. He says, looks good now that most graphics are gone. Yes, so the Tech Talk graphic right here, that's off of the ATEM switcher directly. So that's built into the ATEM. So that, assuming that the camera's not causing a problem and the ATEM's not causing a problem, then we should be stable. All right. Anything else? I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about tonight. But I would encourage you, if you have a cell phone, give it a shot. Give it a whirl. Now, I will put a qualifier on this, and you would almost say this is a disclaimer. I am not condoning anyone taking their cell phone and taking videos in an unsafe manner. Don't go driving with your cell phone and expect to take a live video. I have seen it on Facebook. I know it happens. I don't condone that. It is unsafe and very distracting. So don't do it. Also, don't go places you're not supposed to go. Just because it looks cool and it's something that you want to see, if you don't have permission to do it, don't go shoot with your cell phone. Obviously, there are places that cell phones go that you're not allowed to take pictures or take videos. Again, use discretion. Be smart, and don't blame me if you get in trouble for shooting something that you should not be shooting. Okay? All right. With that, I think we're going to wrap it up. We will be live next week. Actually, no, I take that back. We will not be live next week. I will do my best this weekend to tape a video for next week. But I've got family coming in, and my wife has a birthday next week. So we're going to be celebrating her birthday next week. So we will not be live next week. And if I have time to put a video together, I will put that together. You know, other than that, I think that wraps this episode of Tech Talk. I am working on some changes in the channel, so stay tuned for that. Plus, we are still waiting for that second OBSBot Tail Air install coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We talked to the pastor last week or the week before that. He's hoping to be able to do the install before Easter and go live for Easter service, but I have not heard since then if that's actually going to work. If that's going to happen, we've got to do the install here either next weekend or the weekend after. So yeah, we're really running out of time for that install if we're going to make it before Easter. But, you know, here's hoping. Other than that, yeah, if you have any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments. Don't forget, in the description, we've got tons of links, tons of information. Don't forget, we do have the Obsbot Tail Air promotion still going on. So make sure that you go over and check out Obsbot Tail Airs. I honestly believe if I had the money, I'd have 3 of them in my studio at least, if not 4. They are great cameras, great tools for the live streams, as well as just everyday camera shooting. They do make good IRL streams if you don't mind taking the camera out and setting it up and then doing your records that way as well. So don't forget, use the link in the description, and then also use the discount code JA Memories for a 5% off discount from Obsbot. Also, we have affiliate links with Amazon for all the equipment that I'm using in the studio today, as well as we have the logbooks and the calendars. I know it's already March, so maybe calendars are no good, but we are working on a new calendar for next year. I hope to have that released by mid-June, so that it's ready to purchase, so you have it in plenty of time for next year. So God bless you all. We'll see you next week. This is John McLauchlan with JA Memories. As always, have a blessed week, and we will see you next time.